What is going on, everyone? Jack here from Half Chrome. Today we got a fun show. We're going to talk about the DJI Mavic SE, DJI Mini SE. We got one of those. We flew it a ton yesterday. Chris and I did with the Mini, the original Mini, the Mini 2, the Evo 2, the Air 2S. We flew the Bug 16 Pro, and even some interesting drone we got from Amazon. But yeah, we're going to do that. We've got Darren Allatt joining us from Australia. He is an FPV guy, but he's got some pretty awesome stuff. And he was helping me getting some of my quads. Recently got into some ELRS stuff, and it's, well, it could be really easy, or if you know FPV, it can also be fairly complicated. And he's got a pretty awesome service. Will help you get set up. So we'll talk about that as well. He'll be joining us. I believe it's lunchtime over there for him. So some fun stuff today that we've got in store for you. And we will be back very soon. All right, we're back, and we've got Darren here joining us backstage. We'll get him on in a second. Chris, how we doing?
Good. Doing all right tonight. We got a lot of little mini drones to talk about tonight, right?
We do. Lots of mini drones, and actually mini drones are Darren's specialty. He flies a different kind of mini drone though. So let's get him on the stream here. He's coming from the other side of the world, aren't you, Darren?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jack and Chris. I'm coming from Sydney, Australia, and even though I do have the windows darkened, it is bright and sunny and a lovely spring day outside.
It's lunchtime, right? You're on your lunch break.
Yeah, pretty much 11:30, morning tea, heading into lunch. So
fantastic. So I ran into Darren actually setting up one of these guys. This is a Beta FPV. It's an FPV drone, but it uses ELRS, which is a long range protocol. And anybody that's got into FPV knows that it can be super complicated. So I was, of course, using my resources, went onto YouTube, and I stumbled across one of his videos, which was nice and short and sweet. And I followed it. I'm like, yeah, this should be working, and it wasn't. So did I message you on Facebook or something? And is that how we?
I think you dropped a comment. I think you dropped a comment, and then I said, message me on Facebook, and we'll sort it out.
Yeah, there we go. So yeah, so I dropped a comment on his video. message through Facebook, and your website actually has a spot where I booked an appointment to work virtually with Darren, and we did some troubleshooting, and I also Darren, I've also been talking with Beta FPV. This thing is soft bricked, so I do have to basically solder and short it and all sorts of fun that I haven't had a chance to do before I can pair this. So you were right on with your advice, and I appreciate it. But I think it's awesome because, Chris, what are your thoughts on setting up FPV drones?
Yeah, I never broke through the barrier that was there. I think the barriers come down in a lot of ways. I think Jack's bumping into a new barrier here in challenges with this new protocol. But yeah, I kind of rely on Jack for all things FPV. He hands me stuff so I can fly it for the most part. He's tried to train me, but I'm almost untrainable.
Yeah, which is crazy because Chris is like a super nerd. So he should be able to do this stuff. He's an engineer and all sorts of technical background, and I'm just a yahoo that hammers things until they start working. But well, Darren, anyway, thanks for joining us. So you're into the smaller drones, right? So you're Everything Micro FPV. Why micros?
So in Australia, we have very similar laws to the United States and Canada around the 250 gram limit. Now, my challenge is, as much as I'd love to be able to go out and fly 5-inch quads and, rip around the parks, I live inside the 5-kilometre zone of Bankstown Airport, which is a metropolitan airport. And then if I move outside of that 5 kilometres, I'm suddenly in the major international Sydney Airport catchment. So you're really restricted in terms of what you can and can't fly. And people in Australia aren't as accustomed to drones as well. So being able to just fly micros then gives me the ability to go out quietly as well. So 5 inches, when you're ripping around a park, they scream like a banshee and make a lot of noise, whereas the micros are a lot softer and quieter. And the other aspect is, sometimes being able to just go to a really small park and get your FPV fix in of 3 to 4 packs a day just makes that a lot easier than trying to go out and set up race gates and, find bandos. And, Sydney property prices aren't necessarily so cheap. So finding a bando, as what they're called in the FPV community, an abandoned building to fly around, they don't exist. So, flying micros tends to be a lot easier and a lower barrier to entry.
Yeah, for sure. And they're not going to chop your fingers off.
No, they don't. So thankfully, all 10 digits, and I'm not one of the ones who have posted my little war stories on Facebook saying, "Oh, my drone cut me." It's like, well, if you had the props on the table, it's kind of your fault.
Yes. So, but you know what, your service, right, that you provide, I think it's actually pretty freaking awesome, and I think that I may send Chris to you
absolutely
to try and figure some stuff out. But I booked up a time, and it was super simple, really easy to do. Let me just see if is there a link on your there's a link here. I'll pull it up so people can see. But yeah, you can book a 15-minute, 30-minute appointment to get some FPV help. So if for those of you that have been thinking about getting into FPV and you're like, I want someone to help me through this, that this is something Darren does, right? So that's it, and it's pretty awesome, right? So
and it's not just the help and troubleshooting that we did together, Jack. It's also the advice and being able to just have someone to converse with. I see a lot of people post on Facebook groups that, oh, is this a good drone to buy, or what about buying this? And sometimes they just need someone to speak to be able to cut through all the difficulties and go, no, this is actually what you want to do. And then be able to simply say, well, why would I do that as opposed to this? And have a conversation with someone so you don't make the same mistakes I did, which cost a lot of money to make because I bought the wrong gear, or I did it the wrong way, or I tried to build something and didn't necessarily have the right parts or the right recipe to build it correctly.
Yeah, no, it is awesome. I'm throwing a link to your website here in the chat, so if people want to jump on there. Actually, I'll throw a link to your YouTube channel as well. They're also in the video description, people. So if you're watching this later on, you've got access to that stuff there. But very cool. So I think it's awesome. I think you need to be charging like 4 to 5 times what you're actually charging, because I think you could. But anyway, so we
slow and steady.
Yeah, sure. We'll get some people over to your channel. That would be fun. I see Doug's here in the chat. I've worked with Doug a little bit. Did a little FaceTime and a little Facebook messaging, helping Doug out. And it's just, I remember struggling learning this stuff, and it doesn't seem to make sense initially. Like, why is this so hard? Why do I need an advanced degree to get my drone to fly? But once you've done it, it makes some sense. Oh, I don't want to show these. I want to show the questions to you.
So
that's no fun. We can't prep them.
I got a question. I don't know. What do you have an alter ego that you do in the when you open up those shades? You working from home? What's going on?
No, not really. Like, if I open up the shades, we've got bright and sunny outside, so it'll actually stuff the thing. But no, I don't fly with an alter ego.
Do you have a day job?
Yes, I do. That's what you're getting at. Sorry, I thought you were getting it like a pilot name or something.
I was going Bruce Wayne kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've just finished the Iron Man series because we're the Avengers series because we're back in lockdown, so a little bit of a Tony Stark in a sense. For a day-to-day job, I work in a real estate tech industry. So there's a company called Domain in Australia, and they do effectively, they're a listings business or a direct or a sort of a where you list your property for sale. But they've also got a technology business that helps real estate agents with all the different software that they need to run an agency. So I work in that part of the business, and am effectively an account manager and work with agents to make sure that they can use our software effectively. So, bringing that same sort of troubleshooting help to FPV is kind of second nature.
Cool.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Very cool. So should we start hammering some questions, Chris?
Yeah, well, that's my first one there.
All right,
so rapid fire, quick answer.
Yeah, so you just gotta go some quick answer. First thing that comes to your mind. We'll start you off easy. Chris, we'll alternate. I'll start. So, where are you from?
Sydney, Australia.
Done.
If you could only have one drone to fly, what would it be?
Ooh, the upcoming Diatome Roma F35. It's about to be released. I pre-ordered it, and I reckon it'll be the one sub 250 quad that everyone should have.
Okay.
Cool. Wow. We'll have to check that out. All right. Most overrated drone.
DJI FPV combo. Sorry, guys.
That's okay. That's a common answer, actually.
The worst drone.
When Peter McKinnon. Worst drone I've ever flown. Right now, I'd have to give that to the HX115 LR, the one that I've been troubleshooting you with. That's by far the worst I've flown so far.
So if I don't get it up in the air, it's not the end of the world, is what you're saying?
No, it's not the end. We'll help you swap out the flight controller and put some decent motors on it, and you'll enjoy it a lot more.
Makes some sense. All right, best camera.
Best camera would have to be the original DJI FPV camera that came on the system. You just can't beat that for functionality and quality, because it also transmits 1080 to a DJI Air unit. So being able to natively record 1080 on the SD card on the Air unit in the quad is hands down the best FPV camera. You can't get that anymore, but that is certainly, if you can get one secondhand, buy them up. They'll be like NFTs and Pokemon cards.
Okay. Do you have a favorite drone channel on YouTube other than yours?
Other than mine, Nick Burns. He's also into the micros, and he's a good guy, very personable, responds to a lot of comments, and covers a lot of stuff. So he'd have to be my favorite channel.
Yeah,
outside of my own.
He's like the American version of you. He only flies small stuff too.
Yeah, I'd like to think I'm more the Australian version of Nick. So he's certainly got some big shoes to fill, and he's a good guy as well.
Okay, how about one person to fly with? Who would it be?
or it's meant to be rapid fire, isn't it? Mr. Steele, like just being able to be in the Jedi Master's presence, it would be amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. One place you'd love to fly if you've never flown?
Oh man, to be honest, I'd love to power loop the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Like that, being able to just take off in the Sydney Harbour and power loop the Sydney Harbour Bridge, that would be the one place I'd love to fly. And if I can ever get that chance, I certainly would.
And you can't, is it some airspace issues there?
Oh, airspace, legal, everything. There's no chance of ever being able to do that.
Well, if you're really quick, maybe in and out.
Maybe, yeah, potentially.
Record the DVR and just drop it in, and go.
Yeah, as they say, oh, I found an SD card. I see a lot of that.
Yeah, go for
it. Drone feature you can't live without.
Oh, that certainly have to be the binding phrase from Express LRS. Mm-hmm. So what that is you basically, when you flash the firmware, it's like you hard code a Wi-Fi code onto both your transmitter and your receiver, and then you can just pick up any controller that you have or any drone, turn it on, and they fly. And you can even swap between controllers, so you can land while still completely armed, turn off your controller, switch it out, and then arm and then take off. Like that's my best favorite and my absolute favorite feature.
I am excited to get that started. That's one of those things in Express LRS that I'm actually really looking forward to. Plus, there's some really awesome small receivers, great range. Like for micros, it's changing the game for sure. All right, we got one more question, don't we, Chris?
Yeah, one more. Strangest or scariest or most embarrassing drone flying experience?
I'd say the most embarrassing would be when I first started flying. I had a Tiny Hawk 2 on the Ready to Fly kit. So don't buy Ready to Fly kits, by the way. And then I was being fancy trying to show, yeah, that's that little one there. I've lost 5 of them. So I got up a bit too high with a bad controller and bad goggles, and it lost it. And then I was driving around the neighborhood trying to find it and just couldn't. So most embarrassing was pretty much day one, losing it.
Jack used to be infamous for that. I spent hours looking for drones that he's lost.
I've done that too.
Yeah, Chris is super careful, and I'm like, let's do this. And it's like before I was good or better than I am now anyway. I lost a couple. We found most of the drones.
Yeah.
I think
I lost one out in the western suburbs where I didn't realize I was flying over it at the time, but I flew near an RC airfield and got blasted out of the sky and then crashed into the bush. And I couldn't, I've got a video of me actually going into the bush to find another drone that I've lost. And I've also deliberately lost one with air tags. But this one, I got into the thick of the bush, and it's like I'm going through the middle of the jungle. And I got to my quad, but it was stuck so far in this tree in this scrub, I just couldn't get to it. So that's kind of sucky that I couldn't get it, but I was so close.
Yeah, we spent hours searching for a $15-$20 drone. Remember that little green thing? Actually, Chris lost that drone, but it was Eachine H8 or X8 or something. You could fly it inverted. Like if it crashed, it would take off inverted. It was super cool.
That's cool.
It had no camera. But it was one of the first drones we reviewed.
Spend so long looking for it. I don't know.
Yeah, it was literally $15 or $20, but it was fun. And Chris put it in a tree or a pond, or we don't actually know.
We lost one in the pond.
Yeah. There's a question from Mac in the comments. It's why shouldn't you buy an RTF? And this is one I rant on Facebook about. So to answer that question, Mac, and anyone else who's considering RTF quads, is basically you spend the money, you get goggles and you get a controller, but they're absolute horrible. And like I did, and like everyone else who's ever bought an RTF, within 1 to 2 months, you go and upgrade it anyway. So then all of this supposed value that you get from the upfront purchase is wasted because there's no resale value on those really bad controllers and goggles. So it's better off to buy a decent controller, buy decent goggles that'll maintain their resale value.
Yeah, I do think that there are some better RTFs these days, but you're right. Like the super common ones, like the Tiny Hawks, the remotes themselves are garbage. Eachine made a bunch of novices. The 1, the 2, maybe like those remotes were like almost unusable. The goggles, I think, in the 3rd version. The 4th version is actually you get a jumper ST8 or T12 or something. That's actually a decent remote. But that's also like
the DJI FPV drone. I think it's like $2,000 to buy it here in Australia.
Oh,
and
oof.
Yeah, so 2,000 Aussie dollars. I don't necessarily want to spend my money on that. I mean, the thing is, I'd only fly it a few times, and the controller itself that comes with it is not usable on any other of the DJI FPV system. So it only works with the drone. So the controller's kind of useless to me for any other purpose. The goggles I keep, but the drone, I think it breaks too easy. And the stuff that I'm trying to do, where I like to rip around trees and stuff, I'd probably go through my DJI refresh pretty quickly.
Yeah. You're right. Like, I was actually really disappointed because I was excited about that controller because I like the small form factor, right? Like, it's basically it's this size, but you're right, it only works with that, which is super disappointing. But Darren, if you find someone that has that, the FPV feed on that thing is unbelievable. Like, it is just like DJI Air Unit is awesome, but the actual DJI FPV quad, the feed on that is next level awesome comparatively. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, 100%. And like, that's the one thing that I'd buy it for, but all the other cons of, I'd have one great flight before I'd, have to send it back for refresh.
Yeah, it's actually great for like long range cruising and stuff like that. It's not a great acro ripper, but you can, I mean, it's got enough power that you can do some stuff. You can power loop and do a little bit of that, but
it's certainly very capable. I think one thing DJI have done really well with that is the whole guided learning process that you can go through before they allow you to get on acro. The only thing that you can't, and working at a software company, we come through this we go through this all the time. You can't just prepare for people going on stuff the learning curve. I'm going to just go in and do it myself, and inevitably that ends up. But if I was going to be flying about 10 to 15 Ks, I know I think it's a 13.5 kilometer hard limit on it due to the packet rate and stuff. But if I was going to be flying those kind of distances, I'd certainly, and wanting to do cinematic stuff and get better video, wholeheartedly it'd be one in the toolkit. But it's just not the type of stuff I do.
Yeah. How about sub 250 drones that look like this? You fly any of these things ever?
No, not really. My first drone actually was similar to that, but not as good. It was a cheap, they call it Zero X Force. It's absolute rubbish, by the way. Broke it on day one, and then I bought a Tiny Hawk. No, I think those are certainly good in terms of being able to just pop up, get photos, and get some video. And you look at a lot of the B-roll stuff in vlogs that are done with the types of Mavics, and they certainly have their place. I find they're more of a, and this is, I guess, a bit of a generalization on my part, they're more of a photographer's drone or a videographer's drone as opposed to someone who wants to, I guess, have a, sort of an acrobatic type flying experience.
For sure. Yeah. That's absolutely what these are. You can't fly it with goggles. There is an FPV mode, but that just kind of changes the way the gimbal works, right? This is good for it's good for photography. Chris and I, that's the DJI Mini SE, which we just got the other day. And if you are looking for something to do some aerial B-roll, it's $300 in the States here. I don't know what it costs you, or even if it's available.
Probably about $5 when it does come out here.
Yeah, but it's for the money, it is going to put a lot of these inexpensive companies on notice, I think, because they're $200, $300 for a drone would get you some okay stuff, and now DJI is putting out stuff that you could do real estate photography with one of these.
Oh, absolutely. And the thing is, you get the DJI quality, right? It's, I mean, the reason why DJI does so well is they're Apple of the drone worlds. And, you know, you get a certain standard when you get something from DJI. So, I mean, I can see your video that came up 11 hours ago when I was asleep while I was up watching the Spurs game. But so I'll certainly be checking that out a bit later. But yeah, I might end up getting one. They'll probably work out to be about $500 Aussie. Given the currency conversion, so potentially I could try and get some of that in my B-roll of when I go and fly as well.
Yeah.
There's a cool question from Yellow Rose Drones in the chat. I have the DJI FPV drone, but I'm scared to fly it in manual mode. I would be too. What other drone could I buy to practice with in manual mode that might be compatible with the V2 goggles? So I guess to sort of work back on that question, any of the FPV drones that have a CADX Air unit or the CADX Vista, Nebula Pro, Nebula Polar, or even the DJI Air unit, they're all going to work with the version 2 of the FPV goggles. So in terms of what you should actually fly before you fly manual mode is actually fly a sim. So go grab a Jumper T-Lite, Radiomaster TX12, Radiomaster TX16S, plug it into your computer and learn to fly the sim. There's some great simulators out there like Velocidrone, Liftoff, and even DRL. They'll take you through that guided learning, and you can crash a million times. You don't have to charge batteries. And then, the cool thing about the DJI goggles is they've got an input, so you can actually connect an analog receiver and plug those into your goggles. So you've got the best of both worlds. So you can fly your micros with analog, but also then when you want to fly, 3.5 inch up, I'd probably recommend something like, when you want to go out and you've flown in the sim, you've flown a whoop for a little bit. And like the whoops I'd recommend is something like a Mobula 6.7, Mob 7. But then when you want to go out, I'd probably say get something like a Gep RC, Smart 35, even the Beta FPV. This is the X-Night 35, the 3.5 inch drones. They're small, sub 250, and they're compatible with your DJI FPV goggles. So I'd give those a go. Yeah,
for sure. I grabbed a couple of DJI Whoops that I like flying, and they're nice because they have enough power. You can fly them on 2-3S batteries, and you can whip around. The getting in a simulator is 100% the way to do it. So I made a video with my son here not too long ago, where he and I we flew in a sim 30 days. He's never really flown acro, and man, he is better than Chris right now. We'll mute it, but yeah, we just kind of every day 10-15 minutes flying in the sim, and then I could kind of help him with the progression, and then we went out to the field like a month later. We actually started with a 4-inch quad analog. Yeah, he did okay. He crashed a bunch. Skip ads. And then he put on the DJI goggles, and it was like all of a sudden he could just really fly. Just getting rid of the interference made things a whole lot easier for him. It was I don't want to say it was night and day, but just the clarity that you get with those DJI goggles is
well, he probably has never seen an analog TV before, just judging by my guesstimate of his age, and he's probably used to playing video games and used to that high resolution. So being able to just see clearly, he's like, yep, straight in there.
Yeah, for sure. That was the thing, but getting into the sim is the best way to learn how to fly FPV. Chris did it for a little bit, but life is hard. It gets in the way. It's hard to dedicate video game time and then drone time and all that.
Yeah, just didn't dedicate. I mean, but yeah, I mean, I flew it for a couple days, and definitely, I mean, makes a huge difference. It took me just an hour before I was, not constantly crashing, or just a few minutes even. You can sort it out a little bit. So yeah, sim is good. And yeah, I mean, the quick answer is sim, then something small, because they don't break.
100%. And the batteries are cheap as well, right?
Yeah.
So a 1 to 2S whoop, your batteries are $5. Flying something 4-inch, your batteries get up to $10 to $15. Flying a 6-inch 5-inch, you're looking at $20 to $25. A battery, and then batteries are only lasting like 5 to 8 minutes on the bigger stuff. So you're looking at $200 to $300 worth of batteries just to have a good 1 to 2 hours of flight time. So
yeah.
Well,
for sure. Well, awesome. Well, thanks for coming. We every other show we do a thing called Turtle Time where Chris flies a whoop around the basement and people guess how long he's gonna fly before he crashes, and then we send the winners t-shirts. We're not gonna do that this show, but we'll do it next show. This show we're actually gonna give away a couple of drones. We have a Holy Stone HS 140. It's actually kind of a crappy drone. They sent me 2 of them. One of them we're gonna blast out of the sky, and the other one I'm gonna give away. We're giving it away to somebody that commented on it. Here, let me see. I had to pull up a YouTube comment. RF Game Server. I don't think they're on the stream, but I'll reach out to them. It looks like they're going to give it to their son, so that's cool, right? It's a decent drone for a kid, and we're going to give it a Bug 16 Pro, which was my favorite beginner photography drone until the DJI Mini showed up. But we're going to give that away to a Patreon. We'll actually do that. We'll do that in a minute, Chris. Don't let me forget about that. But we're going to talk about non-FPV stuff, mostly the DJI Mini SE here. So I don't know. Do you gotta get back to work? Is it the lunch break over?
Yeah, the lunch break's almost over. So, but appreciate you guys having me on, and I'll hop into the comments after the live stream's finished to try and answer as many questions as I possibly can a bit later tonight as well that are FPV related.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Well, everybody, check out Darren's channel, Everything Micro FPV. Through a link in the chat. There are links in the video description. And if you're looking for FPV help, he knows what he's talking about. He helped me for sure. So, jump on that. Good stuff. Good channel. Good dude. Definitely you're gonna want to check that out. So, Darren, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Jack. Thanks, Chris. And thank you very much to everyone on the live stream, and happy flying. And as I always say, don't forget to send it.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right. Take
Cheers.
care.
So Jack, I just tested a battery. I do have a charged battery here. It says it's 4.3.
Let's just do it. We'll just do it next. We'll do it next show, and then we can give away. We'll give away a drone, 2 drones today. And next show, we'll give away a drone and a T-shirt. What do you think?
Sure. We had someone asking for Turtle Time up there. I don't know who that was. So I was like, all right, maybe we can do it. But yeah, if we're we don't need to.
Yeah, we'll do it next time. We gotta have a hook. We gotta get people coming back, right?
Jake's drone life is
everybody loves Turtle Time.
Next time.
Yeah, next time. Oh, or next Sunday, Chris, or the Sunday after? What do you think? Next Sunday we'll be in. We've got that family thing. Is that
we're gonna be down south somewhere or on our way home. So we'll get it going next time. We'll let you know when the next one is. I'll get a little practice round in. My basement got destroyed. There was like a kids party down here. There's boxes everywhere. It's not good right now.
Yeah, I do want to talk a little bit about this DJI Mini SE. We flew some drones yesterday, didn't we, Chris?
Yeah, we did. We flew SE, the original Mini 2, Evo 2, and a couple of bugs. What else? Some other thing.
And the SJRC F7, but it wasn't the SJRC version. It was the it was the B wine version.
B wine.
B wine. So you know, it was that one's only $450. You guys let me tell you, that's going to be an interesting video. Jake saying, why can't I buy it from the DJI store? He's talking about the Mini SE. Little secret here. I keep coughing. Sorry, guys. So if you don't remember, I had an appendicitis. I was in the hospital for like a week, right? Because it burst, and that's really bad. You know, and that took me like 6-7 weeks to recover, and then I was fine for like 4 days. And then I got walking pneumonia. So I still have this stinking cough going on. So I apologize for the coughing. That's you know, whatever that is.
Where can you buy this drone? And I have a feeling the answer is probably different depending on where you live and what country you live in specifically.
For sure it is. But let me just show you something. You can get it on Amazon, but you can't search for it on Amazon. So you have to go to the DJI store on Amazon, or you can just go to our website and click the link there, because I already did the work for you. But yeah, you can see it's listed here on Amazon. But if you search for DJI Mini SE, nothing comes up. But then let's see. Do I want this Mavic Mini, which is $100 more, and it's actually an inferior drone? I go to the DJI store. I want a Mavic drone.
So they're trying to dump what they have, and they're going to roll it out, right? That they'll delay the availability, so people in different parts of the world have to keep buying the original Mini or whatever.
There it is, right? But don't do that. Go to our website, Half Chrome Mini 2, right? Why not support us? But if you're going to buy one of these things, we would love for you to use our affiliate link on Amazon. Yeah, give us a few bucks.
You have a friend who needs one of these things, obviously. Yeah. But here's the other thing, Jack. I'm curious now. That thing has 5 reviews, Jack. Let's just read the reviews. It has 2-star reviews on Amazon. What are people saying about this thing?
That's a great.
Is it not delivered or something?
It's freaking awesome.
Just click on the 5. Click there. Yeah.
Doesn't slice deli meat. I tried to use this as an automatic meat slicer, and in my mind, these fast spinning props would cut my turkey, salami, pepperoni, and most importantly, my ham.
Go to the other 1-star review.
Transmission signal. First lost video transmission from the drone connected to the controller. Drone just around 30 feet in the air. Live video freezes.
Not a pleasant experience is the next one.
It was way too spicy for me. It gave me indigestion.
Okay. All right. Well, here's the thing with it, right? In our opinion, the 3 cameras, unless you want to record in 4K, are pretty equivalent. We couldn't really tell much of a difference. The options available, again, other than 4K, very similar, identical, you might say. In terms of, I mean, transmission range is a big deal. So the Mini 2, clearly, somehow they fit the OcuSync, whatever you want to call it, in there, and the thing flies forever. Versus the other 2 just fly better than any toy drone in terms of range, and but not as good as the other DJI products. So I mean, there's that issue is range, the 4K, and then but it has the upgraded, as far as we can tell, it's the upgraded hardware of the Mini 2, from the battery, the ESCs, the motors. So we flew it we haven't found a windy day yet, but there's a huge difference between the Mini 2 and the Mini, and this seems to perform like the Mini 2 in terms of flight controller, handling the wind, etc.
If you go back, I agree with Chris. And if you look at the video that I put out this morning, the video of the Mavic Mini, the original, you can see it actually does drift a little bit more. And maybe that's partially my piloting. But I didn't have that. the SE and the Mini 2, neither one of them look like that. So it does, you know, I felt like it just flew a little bit better. You know, and I don't know if it was like just me thinking it was flying better, but
yeah,
yeah,
I think it makes a difference. I feel like it flies more like you know, the other bigger drones, little less wimpy. So that's, I mean, that's great. It's cheap. I mean, here's the thing: at $299, it has, you know, just destroyed the toy market group that was trying to inch up towards DJI. You know, there is no drone unless you're going to sell something under $200.
right.
I mean, Jack just got sent a $450 drone that is.
It is absolute garbage when you think like it's $150 more, and it is way less capable. It's way less reliable. The camera is not as good. Like there's, you know, when you people will say, "Oh, you're a DJI fanboy." No, I'm not. But they make really good drones. They make a really good experience when you fly a drone. So this is the Bugs 16 Pro, and I made a video saying this was the best beginner drone out there, and it was until a couple of days ago. You know, it's got a 3-axis gimbal. It's, you know, fairly reliable. But it's not as good. The camera's not as good. We brought this thing, and I couldn't get it off the ground. I was having gimbal issues. I'm like, Chris, you deal with this. I'm gonna try and get another drone up in the air. Eventually, it flew, but
yeah, you know. Yeah, you have a knack for FPV. I have a knack for mediocre toy drone category stuff. So I got it up there, but then there wasn't a lot of interference around, and hardly. You know, I'm immediately losing connection with these drones versus the Mini SE. I mean, you flew that all the way to the bridge, right? You know, like a half mile or something, whatever that was.
Yeah, and we weren't at 300 feet, right? So it's sure it'll go what 2.5 miles. No, it won't really go that far, but it'll do better than the range we got. We weren't doing a range test.
No, and yeah, in general, if you're flying near where you are, if you're flying a drone this big, you know, because we have some comments here saying, yeah, you know, the SE, the original Mini goes far enough. And I would say in general, for sure, if you want to be able to see where your drone is, you cannot fly that drone very far anyway. It's tiny. But we definitely do notice a difference. I mean, break up here and there with what they call their enhanced Wi-Fi versus the OcuSync. And but you're right. I mean, it's good. It is 90% of the time good enough for sure. Better than like the, I don't know. We don't have one to compare, but I remember the Phantom 3 standard was Wi-Fi. Remember that, Jack? And that thing would lose transmission. Sometimes you just go around a house on the wrong side of a house or something. And so I would say it is usable for sure, where the Phantom 3 standard was highly questionable.
Yeah. This is probably my favorite shot that we got with the SE, and it's Chris. This is Chris flying. I said, I bet you can't fly through that bridge, can you?
He said, you got the original video up here, huh?
Yeah, check that out. We'll go. It's like, hell yeah, I can, and fly through it. I'm gonna fly backwards too.
Yeah, it would be cooler if that was FPV, huh? Oh well. This is the part that looks cool. Should have started with this. This is a cool spot. We found this bridge that's no longer open or operational, obviously. But yeah, so this, I mean, it's a great deal. It's a perfect starting place for anybody that wants to get into that kind of drone flying and photography and videography. But it's hard to find. Yeah, it's weird. DJI kind of rolling it out a little slowly. Available at Walmart, hiding on Amazon here and there.
You can walk into. You can get it from Best Buy, which I hate Best Buy. I hate them. But someone asked Zephyr's World, what do you all think about getting the Mini 2 today? Should I wait until the Mini 3? I'm not.
Depends what you want to do, I would say. I mean, if you if you want them, if you want it today, you should get it today, because you know, who knows if and when this Mini 3 is coming. I mean, there will be a Mini 3, I'm sure. Could be a year or two away. But if you think you could get away with the SE and you can buy it, it's definitely something to consider. If you're looking at upgrading later, could be a launching point to save you $150. But yeah, I wouldn't hesitate to buy the Mini 2 today.
Yeah. So what would the Mini 3 even? Why would you want it? Like
The Mini 3?
Yes.
I mean,
what is it going to?
I mean, hopefully they creep a couple extra flight modes, a couple extra features in there. You're not going to need more range out of it. You know, more flight time, or, you know, can we get prop guards on there at 249 grams?
Bingo. That is where it's going, right? So you're going to get my guess, you'll get an upgraded camera, and you're going to get the option for a smaller battery that you can put prop guards in, keep it under 250 with the prop guards, which will satisfy the FAA's requirement to fly over people.
And I just took the European test a few weeks ago because I was over in Croatia flying. So I decided to do, you know, the right thing. Got my learning on, and over there, 250 grams, I can fly over anybody I want to, as long as they're not in a crowd, like basically like a concert, you know, people shoulder to shoulder. I can fly over people in Europe with a Mini, and I don't need a registration number on the drone. I don't need any formal training at all, which is a little goofy. Mm-hmm. But the only thing you need over there is it has to have, you know, the geo warnings built in. You know, if you're going to fly out there in most situations in the open category, you got to have a drone that tells you shouldn't be flying somewhere you shouldn't be flying. So, but other than that, you can fly over people, no prop guard requirement at 900 grams and under, which is what I was flying with the Air 2.
Mavic Air 2, yeah.
Mavic Air 2, not the Air 2S. You could fly over people that are in your group, basically involved people, they call them. So anyway, kind of interesting the way they handle flying over people in Europe. I would say far more reasonable. If a Mini lands on my head, I don't really care if the props hit me. They're not going to hurt. It's going to be that 200 gram weight giving me a minor bump on my head. So it's kind of silly, but
yeah,
you know, that's what it is.
Yeah, a couple of things. Doug's sick to something. He just ordered a battery for his Bug 16 Pro. Now, the Bug 16 Pro isn't a bad drone. I don't want you guys to think that it is. You have this drone. I actually still really like it. But DJI just makes a better product. The Bugs 16 Pro, I think that eventually it hits the $199 mark, and that makes it reasonable, right? It's a good $200 drone. But, you know, it's $240, $250. Now you're getting so close to that Mini SE price. You know, I would just save an extra $50 and buy that. But, you know, not to say, like, the Bug 16 is still a decent beginner drone, right? It's just, you know, DJI's got the quality going. Some other questions here. This one about, are you getting geofence warnings from your Evo 2 Pro? I do know that their new, the last update actually added a bunch of features to this drone. Now, I've been flying it more recently. I haven't. The answer is no, but I don't fly near geofence warnings. But you can still, it will tell you, hey, if you're in a restricted area, it will tell you, but you still have the ability to fly in that area. They're not taking it away from you like DJI does. That said, I still like flying the Air 2S more. We had a situation. I actually almost crashed the Evo 2 yesterday. Just because it flies so differently than some of those other drones, that
I really wanted to hit that tree.
I didn't hit a tree. I did not, for the record, I didn't hit any trees, but it behaved so differently than what I was expecting because I'm so used to flying the Air 2S. But whatever. It was my fault. It was pilot error. I did not hit a tree. I'm just, Chris, I'm going to give it back to you. So, so that I don't, yeah, I'm retiring the Evo 2 Pro from my fleet. It's going back to you. I'm not going to fly it.
I'll take it.
I know you like it. You like it anyway.
Did you have?
Yes, I did. I did turn the sensors off because,
oh yeah,
it was I turned them off because I was flying through some trees and I wanted it was a cool shot. And then I got past out of the trees and then I wanted to swoop back in over the dam. And whatever. But,
yeah, NFZs are coming to Autel. Yeah, I think they are. So yeah, I mean, in Europe, they're going to brick drones. Well, they're not going to brick them, but you're supposed to not be able to fly them unless they have those features starting in 2023 or something, which is kind of crazy, right? That, you could have a 1 or 2,000, 3,000, depending what you have, Inspire or something, right? Dollar investment that could get bricked. I mean, unless they roll out those kinds of features. Of course, that is very possible to add a lot of that after the fact. But yeah, I mean, I flew in controlled airspace with the Lank authorization in North Carolina. Didn't get any kind of warnings there. So yeah, I don't. It wasn't there as of a couple months ago.
Yeah, no, it actually the update got passed. It's a recent update. I forget when, but yeah, they added a few things, panoramas and some good stuff, but also
check that
the
out.
geofencing. Let's give away that Bug 16 Pro. Like I said, still a good drone, and especially for free. So like I said, we're given. I did the YouTube random picker for the Holy Stone, so it's going to RF Game Server. I got to make a note to do that to email this guy. But the Bug 16 Pro is going to a Patreon. Chris,
Yes, sir.
I need you to pick a number. We'll ask Siri how many we got because of my spreadsheet, between 3 and 20. Let's ask, do you have a Siri device?
I have a Siri here. Yes, 3 and 20. What?
Between a number between 3 and 20.
Yeah, I always wonder if Siri is inclusive or not. Will she pick a 3 or a 20, or will it be between? We'll find out. Oh, maybe we never will. Hey Siri, give me a number between 3 and 20.
A random number between 3 and 20 is 8.
There we go.
3 and 20 is 8. So our Patreon is Jeff W. There it is. Yeah, so Jeff W is Patreon number 8. We're gonna send you the I don't know if he's watching. I don't think he is on the stream tonight, but we're gonna send the Bugs 16 Pro his way. So that's cool. I don't think he's won a drone yet. So that's good stuff.
Congrats. It will be good for you or as a gift for a friend. Either way. Yeah. He looks excited.
Oh, he's here. Oh, there he is. Look at that, Jeff. How about that? He's got it. So you gonna keep this one, Jeff, or is it gonna be a gift?
We'll see.
Oh, he's looking at it from the reviews. All right, cool.
All right, very cool. Congrats, Jeff.
Yeah.
Alexa's Serious. Oh, but Jack, you had another little mini drone. Are you ready to talk about that or not yet?
Oh yeah. I can.
We should put them up and see if people can tell the difference.
Look at this. This showed up in the mail today. This mini drone.
Wow. Is that an SE?
Does anyone know what this is? Throw a comment. What am I holding here?
Is that Mini 2? Does it have forward obstacle avoidance?
It's got you know,
Black
stuff
stickers?
here.
Okay.
It's not a FEMI SE. That is right here. I got one of those, but that's not this. So the no, we got to go back legs first. Look at that.
Legs don't
No.
fold like DJI.
No, I was right the first time. I just didn't go forward enough. There we go. Yep. All right. B Wayne is the man. This is the Bugs 19. But look at that. It's it's pretty darn similar in terms of size. It's a little bit larger.
Is
I think
it?
it actually
You weigh it yet?
have not. I've got a scale.
It's going to be 262 grams. Oh, by the way, the SE, what did you weigh it at? 235 or something?
Yeah, 237. Where's my scale?
So it says 249 on the side, but it's lighter.
It says less than. I'm gonna make Chris big. Chris,
Why
you
me?
do.
No, I'm gonna back away. Why me big?
Well, because I'm gonna grab my scale and we'll weigh it.
Okay. Is it gonna be as good as the Xeno demo where they had like an out of calibration scale? Oh, we can't hear you anymore. So he's got to go digging around his basement for a scale now. His basement is getting destroyed. He's refinishing it. He's built another room next to it. What else am I going to talk about? So anyway, yeah, so we got to fly that 19. We haven't flown that yet. But something tells me it's not going to hold up to the SE. You know, unless it's a DJI or an Autel drone. Probably not going to do it. All right, Jack looks like he's back with his scale. Moment of truth here. You can weigh the SE and the Bugs 19. What's he doing there? I'm adding him.
I'm trying to get back on.
There you are.
Any guesses? All right. Oh, how do I can't show my scale because my camera's looking at me. You just have to believe me. 246.
Oh,
it works. Hold on. Battery is, and it does have a battery. So
and then they save some weight by removing 3 different camera gimbals from that drone, right?
Yes. So we don't have a gimbal. We got nothing.
Might be a problem.
So
it doesn't even look up and down.
It will rotate up and down, but I don't know that I want to call that a gimbal. Do you? I don't know that it'll stabilize up and down.
Will it remotely look up and down?
Yeah.
So it's got a gimbal. We have a question from Jake. Y'all order the Xeno Mini Pro?
Did we? You can't. You can pre-order it, but you can't order it. I was told that. I guess it is. It is August, right? So they were going to maybe start having them available to ship in August, but I haven't heard anything. I'll reach out to our contact and see what's going on with that. But I don't think that they were having an issue with the chip shortage, coupled with them crashing the only working one into the wall in their live stream. So yeah, you can't get that yet. But yeah, 246 for this one's this is my favorite. This is the FEMI checking in at 260, which is just mind-boggling. The Mini SE, which I did this already. 239 it says. Mini, original Mini. 250. I waited earlier today. It was 251. And Mini 2, it's going to be the same as the SE because I've already done this, but 239. So
239.
So I mean that also lends some credence to these are the same drone, right? Hardware, these are the same drone. Software, different story, right? You know, obviously we're not dealing with, we have no OcuSync and we have no 4K.
Yeah.
And we don't have auto exposure bracketing, I think.
There's probably something else we're forgetting, but yeah, it's pretty minimal differences there. Thoughts on Hubsan Mini SE? Is that what we have? What do we have?
No, they're talking about the Hubsan drone that crashed into the wall. And they're combining that with the feet. Well,
I can't keep them straight.
yeah. So my thoughts: if you've ever flown a Hubsan drone, you know, don't hold your breath for the Hubsan Mini. Just don't. It's it's going to be flaky.
Yeah. I mean, at $299, you gotta wonder how many of these guys are just gonna give up and go home. Is this DJI's give up and go home price? Be like, all right, everybody else, please, time to give up.
Like, how does MJX or SJRC compete with that? They can't, right? So at least Hubsan makes something else, or they used to. They're done, right? I mean,
Probably.
FEMI, I don't.
You know, it was interesting. I was talking to my my stepdad today. He was telling me about when he used to work for Zenith Television. Remember Zenith?
Mhm.
And you know, so they were the king of the hill on TVs, and he'd go to the trade shows, and the Japanese guys would come over with their whatever it was, you know, their Sony, Samsung stuff, and then suddenly in like the 90s, they started coming in really nice suits and stuff, and they would tell him like, man, we come here, and if I could fit a TV in the plane, I'd bring one home because it was so much cheaper in the US. So Japanese made products cheaper in the US than in Japan, right? So it kind of tells you sometimes they undercut the market just to gain market share, right? So that could be like DJI's margins on this SE might be really low, or, you know, like the Japanese companies in the 90s, maybe even negative. Who knows? Probably not negative, but probably low margins, planning to sell a Brazilian, well, some huge number of these things.
Bajillion.
Of them.
That's the number you're looking for.
Bazillion. That was it.
No, bajillion. I like that one better. I don't know how many zeros that is, but it's a lot.
You know, yeah, I mean, it's gonna kill the market. I mean, people, for some reason, someone is buying these drones, right? That they're sending us these $450 drones that aren't as good as a $299 drone. But you gotta hope that people at some point just kind of wisen up, smarten up, whatever it is. Wise up, that's the word.
Yes,
and
wise up.
Check out our YouTube channel and realize you should just buy the SE.
Probably. Here's an interesting question. Anton Pasqua. What should I buy, the Mini 2 or the Mavic Air, the original refurbished?
Mavic Air. How much is it?
Let's assume they're the same price, I'm guessing, or roughly.
Oh, the original Mavic Air?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd go Mini 2.
Would you?
Yes.
Oh yeah, the Mini 2 with the OcuSync is superior.
The Mavic Air had some issues, so the Mini 2 is better in flight. They didn't put enough gimbal range on the original Air, and so you would sometimes be flying around and the gimbal would kick over a little bit because it ran out of range. You know, so that's angular rotation capabilities. That was my biggest issue. They also made it faster, you know, than it really could. So it needed a ton of runway to slow down. Yeah. I mean, they wanted to see, the speed's got to be a little bit faster than our last drone. Mm-hmm. And you could make any of these drones fly faster. However, if they don't have enough ability to, enough angle limit on them, then they can't speed up or slow down very well. And so the drone was just kind of an asterisk in my mind, something that could have been skipped, and I would skip it.
Yeah, I do like the design. I think it was their best looking drone.
Yeah, it looked like the mask of, Iron Man's mask or something.
There you go.
it did look kind of cool. At least the black one. I thought the other colors kind of looked like. Yeah.
Right, for sure.
Yeah,
good
Mini
stuff.
2.
Yeah, for sure. Go. You know, lots of people. Lon, Flying Machines, Me Drone, Jake's Drone Life, Brad.
Range is being oh, and ours was out of focus. Ours was not very sharp.
I don't remember that, but
yeah, it wasn't great. We didn't mention that. I don't know, but yeah, it wasn't super sharp. And I'm not sure why. Other people didn't have that issue, but ours wasn't that sharp.
Justice is asking about range differences between the Mini 1 and Mini SE. Are there any differences?
We didn't do a range test. Did you have? You flew them further than I did.
They both broke up roughly around the same place. So, yeah, I can't definitively say that one is better than the other. So, yeah, but the Mini SE is a better drone on a whole lot of accounts.
It's cheaper,
and it's $100 cheaper. So, doesn't matter.
Unless you already have one, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
have the Mini, don't go buy the SE.
Yeah, there's no reason, right? So it's like original Mini. If you don't have a Mini drone, this is not the one you buy, right? Yeah. Your best two options are either Mini 2 or Mini SE, right? What's more important to you? Longer range or saving $150? Yeah. I don't even know if I have the right. Yeah, they look the damn same. Like, yeah, I gotta read. I literally have to look at the arm, or I wouldn't know the difference. You know what? I just realized what this Bugs 19 is going to be good for.
Paintball.
Well, that, but
water balloons.
No, I'm gonna steal the case. Put my Mini in there. Look at
That's
that.
the thing with these toy drone companies. They send us the best cases, right?
Yeah. Yeah, perfect. Look at that. I can get, now I got, because I didn't buy the Flymore combo. You don't get a case for the Mini SE. Boom. Success.
Yeah. That's clutch.
That is what that is good for. I took the this Fimi SE Mini, and I took the case from the ZLL, that orange. You kind of see it up there, that orange Mini drone. I used the case for that one, from that one for that one. But, yeah.
So we got a nicer case. That's good. Yeah.
Would I go Mavic Mini SE Flymore combo or Mavic Mini 2 standard? Right. So, assuming you get 3 batteries with the combo and a case, it depends how much you fly. Right. You got 30 minutes of flight time. So,
how bad do you want 4K? I would say you don't need it personally. And if you're going to fly close and or out in the middle of nowhere, you don't really need the extra range. So they both have that improved ability to handle kind of wind and flight performance over the original. So can't go wrong with either. Just ask yourself how bad you need 4K, how bad you need that extra range.
Yeah. All right. So Flying Machines got a B-Wine 7 flew it today. Definitely not a DJI. Wouldn't be bad for $200 less. At $200 less, it's still $250, right? Then it's, I think if it's $200, it's fine.
What's a B-Wine? Oh,
B-Wine. That's that other drone we flew.
Oh, no. That's $150 drone.
It has a real gimbal. I would still buy the Bugs.
I put it 100 feet in the air and I lost signal.
No, wasn't that the Bugs?
Oh, okay. I forget.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Either way. Rick says, you said the SE didn't have a gimbal. No. The SE has a full 3-axis gimbal.
Oh, yeah.
The Bugs 19 doesn't have a gimbal. So sorry, Rick, for the confusion there. 2 different drones. So
you might have cut in when Jack was holding it up. It looks just like the SE.
Yeah. Yes. I've got all these Mini I've got mini drones galore sitting on my desk right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 of them. Oh,
Yeah, my son was out with us flying the other
5.
day, and he's like, "How many DJI drones do you have left, Dad?" I don't know. I had to count them. We got 3 minis, Air 2, and a Zoom.
We didn't bring the Zoom. Oh, how many do we have in general?
Yeah. 5
So
left.
we need to sell. We need to sell the Mavic 2 Zoom.
Probably. I think it's
We
time.
also need to sell the original Autel Evo. So if
Yeah.
anyone is interested, if you're watching the stream, we'll likely cut you a deal.
Yes. Special offers for stream watchers.
So if you want, they're both. I love
The Zoom.
the Mavic 2 Zoom. I do.
If you want to start a professional business, it's a great place to start. I've flown it professionally. It was my drone of choice for indoor because it has a slightly wider field of view than the other DJI products in wide. And it has some extra flexibility. And as I've said multiple times, shockingly, that camera is sharp in all zoom states, which I don't know how they did that in such a tiny little camera, but it's a nice little thing.
All right. So Mac says, any pros or cons of swapping batteries on the Mini 2 with the Mini 1? So you can use the Mini 1 batteries in the Mini 2, but not vice versa. They are heavier.
The original batteries.
The original batteries are heavier. So a
little bit.
They're a tiny bit heavier, and I don't think they have the same. It's negligible in terms of
flight time.
Right. So we tested a long time ago. I don't actually remember the results, unless if they're a whole lot cheaper. Sure. Also, you could run the risk of DJI updating firmware to not allow them. Maybe I don't know. Brad's interested in the Zoom. Cool. Yeah. So we like to give drones away. We can't give away drones like that because when it comes to we buy these, DJI drones. They don't send them to us. So this, we're gearing up for the Mavic 3 Pro, which is going to cost us an arm and a leg. So that's why we got to sell them. But yeah,
or something.
Yeah. So Brad, shoot us an email.
Doug wants the Autel. Cool.
All right, hold on.
Jack lost our gimbal guard, so we got to get another one of those before we ship it to you.
I'll just duct tape it or something. Right?
We got lots of interest here.
Hold on. How do I?
If you guys are interested, throw us an email up there, right, Jack? You see the email down at the bottom there?
Yeah.
We know Doug. We see him every week. But yeah, let us know. Send us an email. We're here to deal. We got a sweet waterproof case for the Zoom too.
Yeah, we do. Any solution for iPhone dimming on the Mini 2? I turn on iPhone charging and then you pump the brightness up all the way. But you're right. It does dim if you're not flying for a while. You can get one of those shades, that might help.
No, but yeah, the iPhone started dimming recently. What, it gets warm or something? It sucks.
Yeah, it's probably an iPhone limitation, huh? Right?
They're like, oh,
it's getting so hot.
3 batteries.
Fly machines, the Ion ones don't have quite the zip of the LiPo. Yeah, that's probably true, but like I said, we were flying these things back to back. It's not like incredibly different, right? So yeah, I would stick with the newer batteries unless the old ones were dirt cheap. How many times I crashed? We have never crashed the Zoom or the Evo. Neither one of those are crashed. I crash all my FPV drones. That's for darn sure. I crashed the Spark.
The Zoom prop hit a metal pole and
Yes.
kept on flying.
Yes.
Just the prop. The prop was like cracked significantly, lost a chunk of it, kept flying. That's the closest we've come to crashing the Zoom. Autel, nowhere near that.
Yeah, we were doing follow me's in a parking lot. We were following, I think, Chris's son on a bicycle, active track. We were doing active track. And yeah, we heard a ding right from the metal pole, and we landed it. And lo and behold, yeah, the big chunk missing out of the propeller. But it did not crash. It did not crash. We landed that and changed propeller, good to go. But you could hear the vibrations, the propeller being a little bit off. Asked 51 drones about screen dimming, and he lost his Air 2S. Yeah. I think I'm gonna try and get Russ on the show. I want yeah. So maybe we can ask him about that for sure.
Yeah, I think you think the charging solves that, Jack? Do we know that?
I don't know that actually.
Okay.
But
it's a good subject. Figure out how to avoid this dimming junk because it's driving me bonkers. I mean, it started I feel like a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm.
I never used to have that issue. Did you, Jack? Have you been noticing that? I thought I was going crazy at first. I'm like, why is it so hard to see? It just, I don't know. It's an iPhone thing. And apparently you haven't noticed it at all, Jack?
I'm not as observant as you, but no, I mean, I didn't have that. I didn't have that problem when I was flying this weekend.
Okay.
I'm going to do a video. Probably the iPhone, either the iPhone 8 or the iPhone 11.
Okay.
So
I'm using an 8, and I've definitely noticed it on the Air 2S. I noticed it, I feel like, this weekend with the mini drone as well.
So I'm going to do one of those app walkthroughs with the Mini SE. So I'll have that thing up in the air, and I'll be on my phone for a good, 30, almost 30 minutes. So that'll be a good test. Yeah, we'll see, but I'll turn on. No, I can't charge a phone. I can't do iPhone charging with the SE because it has the old remote.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's a good question. It's a great question because it's starting to piss me off. Maybe it's DJI's way. Maybe DJI is sending them a dimming signal to get us to buy a smart controller.
So Lon says, have you tried the iPhone not connected to a drone to see if there are any problems? What does that mean? I think he means not connected all the time.
Just be outside using your phone, get it to heat up, see if the screen goes dim after 10 minutes of holding it in your hand. And I don't know.
Yeah.
Watch a movie. There you go. While using GPS and everything else. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. We could do that.
If anybody finds out the answer to that question, please let us know because that's a great question. It's a real problem lately for me.
For Chris. It's one of Chris's big problems. I don't know what that means.
I like seeing my screen. I'm sorry.
No, it's fair. No, for sure. You got to be able to see your screen at all times. But yeah, Russ for 51 drones. Now that you guys say that, I remember he's saying, yeah, my phone went dim and I didn't see the drone, and then you end up crashing in a lake. Air 2S.
No raw photos. Do we have raw photos on the Mini 2? I can't remember.
Mini 2, yes. Mini 2 does have raw. That is another difference between these drones. You cannot shoot raw on the SE or the original, but you can on the Mini 2. So that was another upgrade.
Yeah. Yep, it is a more professionally geared product, although, in quotes there, they definitely withhold a lot of features from that drone. It could be more professional. It could basically be a Mavic Air 2 with no obstacle avoidance.
It could be. Well, it wouldn't have the
HDR.
same camera.
Yeah. but
Oh, the Mavic Air 2.
yeah,
Not
yeah.
the Air 2S.
No, it could basically be an Air 2 with no obstacle avoidance if they just
Which
unlock.
we just sadly left.
Yeah.
You left it in Europe.
Yeah, Air 2. I left with my buddy over there. Did a ton of stuff in Croatia. I still got to get some video out on that. I got some video unlisted on our channel. I don't think you'll be able to find it.
I will. We should open that up to our Patreons, let them see it. I'll give you guys you do a quick preview because it's freaking awesome.
I spent like way too many hours just cleaning up. I mean, I flew the 2 batteries a day for a week straight in Croatia, and
some really good content.
It looks kind of fake, doesn't it? Oh yeah, this is our guy Sebastian on our boat, the Swiss French musician.
He got a copyright claim.
He did. So he sung Time After Time, Too Close to the original tune, and we got a copyright claim on his version of the song.
It's pretty good. Okay,
it's lagging on you. So it's getting a little laggy there, Jack.
Experience interruptions. You know what we'll do?
Fast forward that bad boy.
Here, let's. It's playing in 4K. We don't need 4K for now.
Certainly don't.
We'll go 720. Yeah, some really good stuff. I like the ending, the last third of this video is I think the really good stuff. But yeah, I'll throw a link. Patreons can watch this. I think we should do that.
Cool, man. I better run before I get in trouble here.
Yeah, me too. I got to go to work tomorrow. Gosh, I know that sounds like horrible, but that's a nice shot right there.
Maybe, like I said, you can fly over people in Europe.
All right. Yeah, I gotta get up and go to work again. But that's life, right?
Yeah.
So
we leave you on a very sunny, moony note there.
Yes. You guys have a great night. Thanks for coming. We'll be back maybe next week, maybe the week after. We got to do we'll do another Patreon giveaway because we are Patreons. Another drone from, we didn't do one in July, so we're going to do 2 in August. So,
all right.
Thanks for watching. Yes. Yeah. Chris, make sure you got some goodness. I got to kill this cough, but,
all right, guys.
All right. Have a good night, everyone.
Night. Thanks for hanging out. Bye.